All right. Good afternoon, and welcome to the August 12th, 2024 City of New Ulm Park and Recreation Commission meeting. We will start with a roll call. Off to my left, please state your name and your position.
Jeff Golden, chairperson.
Bev Lundenberg.
Dave Christian.
Amy Johnson.
Kurt Johnson.
Jim Jensen.
Cheryl Corman, staff.
Joey Schugel, staff.
All right. We're going to move on to approval of agenda. So I'm looking for a motion to approve the agenda. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Right, those opposed, same sign. And motion carries. All right, on to approval of the minutes. The next item, we are going to approve the minutes. And there was no July 2024 meeting, so we are looking for a motion to approve the June 10th, 2024 regular meeting minutes. Do we have a motion to do so?
So moved.
All right, and a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, a motion has been made and seconded to approve the meeting minutes from June 10th. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. All those opposed, same sign. And motion carries. Okay, so we are going on to the City Council meeting recap. Director Schugel, can we turn this over to you, please?
Yes, thank you, Vice Chair Johnson. Commissioners, a recap of, as we didn't have a meeting in July, it's a little light on our City Council schedule, but on August 6th, the City Council approved special funding from the Park and Rec fund balance to replace the indoor pool pump coming up during pool closure in a couple weeks here. At the July 2 meeting, they approved the Veterans Memorial concept at German Park that all of you reviewed and approved. And then June 18th, they accepted a number of donations. Any questions on any of those items?
Okay. And with that, we can make a motion to receive and order filed the City Council past action report. Can I get a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Right. Those opposed, same sign, and motion carries. We are moving on to new business, and that's going to be the 2025 Park and Recreation fee schedule.
Yes, thank you, Vice Chair Johnson. Commissioners, in your packet, you have the proposed 2025 fee schedule. Additionally, you'll see a philosophy that the department has used for a long time, along with some special call-out notes. Also, you'll recall that we did have a work session on the proposed fee schedule in June, and staff would be looking for direction today on how to move forward on proposed 2025 fees. A couple things to call out here is the department does offer a number of free community uses throughout the system. You know, whether that's playgrounds, courts, wading pools, splash pad, a variety of free uses. Also note that program fees are not within this fee schedule. These are user-generated fees that you'll see in the fee schedule here. As we called out at the work session, a couple things to note. Looking at combining both the Recreation Center and the Civic Center memberships as an add-on for users who do have Rec Center memberships. They would have access to some of the activities at the Civic Center. We really worked hard on condensing and simplifying this fee schedule. We're always going to have a high number of amount of fees, but really condensing some of the different levels and trying to find a way to simplify this both for staff and our users. You'll note that we are looking at our first increase of our Rec Center memberships since the renovation happened in 2021. And eliminating that double membership and simplifying that process there. So at this time, I'd be happy to answer any questions that anyone has on this fee schedule.
What amount of budget does this come up to be if everybody pays all the schedules if you wouldn't have had it?
Right, so I can give you an approximate number, but first off, these are, again, fees that are user fees.
Yep.
That work that way. Maybe Assistant Director Corman has a little better picture on the rec center, but we look to subsidize at least 50% of our operations with our fees.
I didn't quite hear your question, or maybe I didn't
So let's just say
understand it.
how much would this account for if we didn't put the fee structure in at the end of the year that we have to throw onto the taxpayer?
Yeah, it's
50%.
probably about 50%.
So, just so everybody realizes that out there, that, you know, it's a lot of money that we're generating, and if we wouldn't have it, how much extra we would have to try to come up with. I know the people are paying for it indirectly anyhow, but
And commissioners, when you'll see the budget, approximately about a $4.2 million budget, so 50% is over $2 million.
did you get any calls on it?
It's a modest increase. It's not,
Yeah, I seen that, you know. It's-
Majority of the fees are between 2 and 4% increase.
I myself, as a counselor, I go right to the back. What percent this year are we doing? I mean, I know it's not a lot, but you think baseball will squabble a little when they see 10%, even though it's not a huge amount of money. I
Right.
mean, it's not.
And Counselor Christian, that 10% is a little deceiving because it gets rid of a level. We used to have 3 levels
Right.
of increase, and one of those levels was removed because the users would always get close to that level, but they wouldn't hit it. So the new levels are more attainable, making it really closer to that between 2 and 4% increase when it shakes out.
Got it. Thank you.
Do we have any other questions for Director Schugel? Well, it looks like we are presented with a couple of different options here. One is to recommend the City Council adopt the department proposed fees. One would be to make any sort of modifications, or we table this action until September 9th. Does anybody have any motions that they would like to make?
I'll make a motion that the city council adopt the fee structure in place.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Let's see, all those in favor then say aye.
Aye.
Okay, those opposed, same sign, and motion carries. So we have some guests here today. Our next agenda item is Lutheran Social Services rental fee. So Director Schugel, would you like to start us off on that, please?
Thank you, Vice Chair Johnson, Commissioners. Before you, you will see a rental agreement with Lutheran Social Services for use of the community center kitchen and to provide senior meals. So for a long time, Lutheran Social Services has rented the community center to provide these meals, and the city has really prioritized that for our seniors in the community. Within the agreement, there is really nothing that's changed since the last time it was signed. The last time it was signed was 2023, so there was no increase for 2023, or I should back up. 2023 saw a 3% increase. There was no increase in 2024. Staff would be recommending a 3% increase for 2025, and that would bring us up to $54.11. Based on, and the last 2 years, as you'll see in the budgetary information, was $52.53 per day of use. I'm happy to answer any questions for the city, but we do have Lutheran Social Services representatives with us if you also have any questions for them, or if they would like to speak on this matter as well.
Joey, I noted that they cook a lot of meals here that go to other towns. Do they get money? Do you guys get money from the other towns in Springfield and Sleep Valley? Is there any reason why not? I'm not being critical. I deliver Meals on Wheels, but
If you just
it's
want
a
to
great
introduce
program, and my
yourself.
mom got them in
name.
Springfield, so
Thank
it's
you.
super. But
Yeah.
I'm curious as to why they don't pay something.
My name is Christy Elton. I am an employee of Lutheran Social Services, the meal program. I'm an area director, so managing from Minneapolis all the way down to the Iowa border. We do get a little bit of administration cost for all of the other communities that we help service, but we try to keep their revenue in the communities that we're getting those donations. Since we do work with local grants specific for those communities, we ask for, just grant money for that community. We do keep it within that community.
Does anyone else have any questions?
Again, the one that, and I know you're aware, every year council says they're gonna, are you seeking funding from other areas, communities, grants and whatnot, and it will come up again.
Yep. So our biggest funder is through the Older Americans Act, and our local agent is MINRA. And we are seeing a 5% cut from the federal agent in the funding that they give our program. So that's really going to affect us. We're really starting to look at more of the frail individuals that really need the line of service compared to the folks that may just like the meal because they like the meatloaf. We really want to look at serving the hungry. There was a report that came out from Second Harvest. So food shelves and food programs like this throughout the state of Minnesota have seen an increase in participation. So in 2021, there was 3.5 million individuals needing food services. 2022, it was 5.5 million individuals, and then in 2023, it was 7.5 million throughout the state. And the majority of those individuals are families with young kids and then seniors over the age of 60. And those are the population that we serve is seniors over the age of 60.
Now, you said there was a 5% cut with the feds. That was in their it should have been in their 24 budget already for 25?
Yep. So that'll come out in October. So they're renewing that right now as we speak. So we'll know within the next couple of weeks what that looks like, but we've been told that there is going to be a 5% cut for all of the older adult services that they help
And I
fund.
assume no reason.
Right.
Yeah, I get it.
So take us through this. Can anybody sign up and do you guys have a minimum cost? Is there requirements? I mean, and thank you for doing what you're doing because it's a great thing for our community.
Yes.
But take us on what's the average cost per person, or is it just
Yep.
donated at 100%, or
Yep.
how's that work?
So we do have a NAPIS registration form, which is a requirement through our federal agent, the Older Americans Act. It's just front and back page. It's looking at their food insecurity and their activities of daily living. You do have to be 60 or older. You fill that form out, and then it is a suggested donation of $6 per meal. It's a suggested donation, so we never turn anyone away for inability to donate. At the end of the month, they get a contribution statement mailed to their home so they can make a private donation towards their meals based off of what they can afford. We see for the New Ulm area an average of $2 to $3. Every month it does vary, but we do see an average of $2 to $3 donation per individual.
Do you get donations from the United Way?
We do get donations from the United Way, Southwest Initiative Foundations, other local businesses.
How much is that, do you know?
I do know, I don't know it off the top of my
Because
head.
that's Springfield and Sleepy Eye, it's all together now.
Yep. So we do put in grants for that. We do write grants for that proposal. I know we've been rejected quite a bit just because of their local funds that they don't have. But locally, I don't know. I don't know what that amount is that we've been given.
But you apply for something every year.
Yeah. Yep.
Are you comfortable with the increase that Joey just put out here earlier? Increase of what percent, Joey, was it?
3.
3%. Yep, when I brought that back to our finance department that oversees everything from our expense to our revenue that's coming in from those other donors, they are suggesting that we're not comfortable with an increase. They would like it to not be an increase at all this year. Just looking at the overall expense of transportation cost is going up, employees, and then our food costs. So our expense is pretty great right now.
Well, if I understand correctly, you cook the meals here and then you ship them to Springfield and Sleepy Eye and that?
Yep, that's our current program that we're doing is we cook them from the kitchen here and then we transport them to the communities, yes. We are looking at different modules where we're cooking from a larger kitchen and then transporting them to smaller kitchens. And then those smaller kitchens would then just reheat the meal. We haven't started that yet, but we're looking into doing something like that may be able to cut down on our employee cost.
And am I correct again that Brown County doesn't give anything?
That doesn't give any?
Brown
County. If they're on a waiver program and.
No, I mean, Brown County.
Yep,
The county of Brown.
County, yeah,
does
county.
not give LSS, some funds,
I
no.
just want to say that again with the press, that we don't get any funding from the county for all their county residents
Yeah,
that are under the program.
That's a good point. Do you ask for money from the county?
We don't necessarily go seek out funds from the county, no. We would have, if an individual is on a program, like a waivered program, then yes, the county would fund those meals if that person is on that program. Then those meals are funded at a larger amount. We wouldn't seek out AAA funding from the Older Americans Act. We don't seek out funding from them for those individuals that are on a county program.
Gotcha.
So we do get funding, but it's on an individually based need.
Do you have any further questions? All right, so the recommendation is to increase the Lutheran Social Services Community Center kitchen rental fee effective January 1st to $54.11 per day.
Is this 3%, Joey?
Yes, 3%.
We do have an option for looking at a different amount. Does anybody have any motion that they would like to make?
Well, if you look back in 2017, 18, 19, 21, 22, there has been no increases in 23 and 24. And I hate to put the burden on them, but I also hate to put the burden on our taxpayer that somehow or another we have to continually, gradually, maybe just go up a little bit. And if we can, maybe next year we'll hold it at this 3%, but I think we do need that 3% here to
Can I ask one
continue.
more question? How many people use it from Sleepy Eye or Springfield or anything like that? What are your,
So we do an average of 180 meals a day. So we do an average of 180 meals a day out of this kitchen, so it equals to be about 5,500 meals a month that we're serving. So then roughly about 180 individuals.
how many from Springfield and Sleepy Eye?
Oh,
I
yeah,
have that.
we don't have that count right off the top of our head from those communities.
That.
Perfect.
And commissioners, we get a monthly report, and that's why Cheryl has that. Cheryl does that, puts that in the activity report every month that you'll see.
So for the month of July, for example, 3,443 meals were prepared over the course of 22 days. And New Ulm meals were at 1,958 and other meal sites were at 1,485. I don't have them broke out by Sleepy Eye, Comfrey, and such, but it's about half. half leave,
Half of what New Ulm gets?
yes. Half our New Ulm, half our surrounding communities, right around there.
All right. Well, it sounded like we had a motion to increase the rental fee to $54.11. Do we have a second on that?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All those opposed? Same sign? All right. And
One other item, and you'll be at the council meeting again when it's on the agenda?
Right, so
Yep.
counselor or commissioners, so we'd be looking to have a signed lease by the end of the year to take effect in 2025. I can coordinate with LSS to when they're available for a council meeting. It doesn't necessarily have to go on the next one.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
all right. Well, the motion carries. Thank you very much for being here today and providing the services that you do. It is greatly appreciated. All right. We are going on to 6.3, the 2025 LSS lease draft. Director Schugel?
Vice Chair Johnson, or you mean 6.4?
Oh, I'm sorry. The
Yes.
6.3, this is going to be the SHIP grant.
Yes.
SHIP grant application.
Thank you, Chair. Vice Chair Johnson, Commissioners. This is a request to seek approval to apply for a state, a SHIP grant, but let me get the exact wording on that. A State Health Improvement Partnership Grant application. This grant application would be to fund signage in parks and all facilities where we have the current tobacco-free signs. If you remember, late last fall, you approved those, that smoke-free ordinance to include cannabis with the change in the state legislation. We currently seek funding from the Association of Non-Smokers of Minnesota, who provided these signs last time. And they've been trying to secure this, as you can imagine, flooded throughout the state with all the different communities that are going through this. And they do not have funding at this time for that. So this is why you're seeing this grant. This is another possibility to receive those funds to update that signage. And our staff, if awarded, would do all the replacement and install.
All right. Does anyone have any questions? All right. So I would be looking for a motion to recommend the City Council approve the SHIP grant application for smoke-free signage in parks and recreational facilities. Does anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make that motion.
All right. Can I get a second?
Second that.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Those opposed, same sign. And the motion carries. All right. On to 6.4, Realtor Association of Southern Minnesota grant acceptance.
Thank you,
Director
Vice.
Schugel.
Thank you, Vice Chair Johnson. Commissioners, this is a request to accept grant funding. Due to us not having a meeting in July, this process had to move forward a little more quickly and not come through this commission first. But the Realtor Association of Southern Minnesota was interested in providing funding that for an amenity in a public space that can be accessed by the community. So staff worked on providing them a variety of options. Within those options was a new shelter at the dog park. The dog park has been in need of a new shelter for a number of years, and the association very much liked that option, and we were happy to announce we were awarded funding in the amount of $7,500 for that. And that shelter would be a 14 by 14 steel structure, and the concrete pad would be 16 by 16.
Okay.
Well, I'll make that motion.
All right.
Second.
All right. Okay.
That's a no-brainer.
All right. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Motion carries. 6.5, Herman Fest 2024. Director Schugel.
Vice Chair Johnson, Commissioners, this has become an annual request to all of you for use of both Herman Heights Park and Harmon Park for Herman Fest, which is a free community celebration that really highlights Herman Monument and the impact that has on the community put on by the Herman Monument Society. So this is a request asking for use of those facilities during those days, and that as we see park shutdowns for other options, shelter rentals cannot happen that day, and just the impacts on the park. But the Herman Monument Society is a great partner with this. As you know, they cap the night with fireworks. That is a huge draw for the community.
All right. We
And
are
no,
looking-
no huge significant changes this year. There's a little different use of Harmon Park this year due to some added irrigation throughout the park, but still mainly the same type of event.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
I think it's a really great event and well-attended, and it's exciting, and highlight our park and the Herman Heights and all those things. So I would offer a motion to approve.
All right. Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
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 All right. Opposed, same sign. So motion carries. Donations. We are on 6.6. Director Schugel?
Vice Chair Johnson, Commissioners, seeking approval to accept the following donations. First one from Cynthia Schultz in the amount of $100 for pickleball general improvements. Laura Reinhardt's honoring John Mowen for $200, a German Park paver stone. Karina Alness honoring Cheryl Serbus for $200 for a German Park paver stone. And then Daniel and Rosemary Keel for $200 for a pickleball general improvements. Total for $700.
All right.
I'd make that motion with thanking the donors very much for their donations.
Very good. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, and motion carries. We are on to 7.1, the Department Activity Report. Director Schugel.
Vice Chair Johnson, Commissioners, as you'll see in your packet, there are 2 activity reports in the packet with June and July. Very heavy on youth programming, as we see normally in the summer. A lot of high numbers for use of wading pools and programs. Also in July, I wanted to note it was National Park and Rec Month, so the department highlighted that campaign to celebrate Park and Rec around the country, but also in our community. And July also saw National Night Out, which was a perfect night to bring the community together. Was a beautiful night. All the volunteers did a great job, and community really supported that. And a lot of nonprofits, more than ever before, showed up that night. So that was great to see. And then the last thing I kind of wanted to highlight with the activity reports is the department has taken on, with the Sister Cities Commission, the Hans Joos intern for the year, Annika Fisher, or not for the year, for a few months. So she is working for us right now, doing a fantastic job in a variety of different roles, and she'll be with us till mid-September.
Okay. Very good. Does anyone have any questions? All right. I'm going to look for a motion to receive and order file the June and July 2024 Park and Rec Department Activity Report.
So move.
Okay. All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign, and the motion carries. Now, 7.2 Staff Report. Director Schugel.
Vice Chair Johnson, Commissioners, a couple things to highlight here. First one is NewCat, Community Access Television, has approached the department about doing a spot on Community Access Television and highlighting some things the department does. There's been a few year gap since we've done something like that, but it's kind of a different format than it used to be. So we had our first show, I call it, at the end of July, and focus on it's just staff conversation. So I kind of lead it, and then I bring a different staff member each month to highlight some of the things going on with the department. Get to meet our staff as well, so trying to really have trying to get different staff each month through to highlight this. The library does it as well, and then kind of give updates for the community on projects going on, what's upcoming, and all that. So appreciate NewCat helping us make that possible. So please tune in and give suggestions if you if you want to hear about something or would like a different format or would like a different host.
That's good. Okay. That's great. I look forward to watching that. It's going to be good for community outreach for sure.
Right.
Okay.
One more update here. And then also the city strategic plan continues to be in process, and Bolton and Mink is administering that and has been at a variety of outreach opportunities. So there is a way to get involved in that. So they are seeking additional input through surveys and community outreach. So on the city website, there is a strategic plan tab. You can certainly go through and complete that and be heard in that aspect, or you can always reach out to city staff and we can help direct you to where to go.
I believe there's 10 more days, right?
Yes,
9 or 10
yes.
days more for comment?
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you, Director Schugel. Does anybody have any questions? All right. Next is Commissioner Report 7.3. Does anybody have any reports to share today? Hearing none. The date of our next meeting is September 9th at 4 o'clock. And with no further business, I declare this meeting adjourned. And thank you all for being here today.